Welcome. My name's Trish. Today I'm just going to do a short video just to get a dream out that I had. Sometimes they're prophetic and they're meant to be told, meant to be shared, or it's about something that's upcoming. So here's the dream, and I'm going to explain it the same way that I had it as it played out within the dream. So now, first of all, I do need to tell you that the way my dreams work is that they'll plant little things in the dreams that I'll see when I wake up. When I wake up in the morning, I have coffee, watch the news just to see what's going on in the world while I'm having coffee. And usually whatever I see on the news is something that's been in the dream, just to trigger me, oh yeah, I had a dream last night. So that's really important. So the dream began with, I looked down at my wrist and I had a rash on my wrist, and it was a green rash, and I thought, oh, that's bizarre. I wonder if that's a new kind of pandemic that's coming out. It kept reoccurring throughout the dream. So then, and I woke up at 3 a.m. prior to this dream, and I was awake. I couldn't sleep, and I said, okay, tell me what I need to know, why you've got me awake, let me have a dream about what I need to know. So this is when I went to sleep, had the dream, started with the looking down at my wrist, and I could see the rash, and it was a green rash, which was weird. So then I had a meeting at a government building, and I went into this government building and I was listening, and the information was coming through not like a dream, not like a conversation with somebody, but like I was doing a reading. So getting the words coming through, but not full conversations. They were coming through in phrases or sentences or just words. And it felt like I had a little bit of a filter of understanding what the conversation was about based on my own experiences. So it felt more like a reading to me than a dream. So I was sitting with this government official, looked like a general. He's talking to me, and he's talking about how certain people are going to be called in. Diplomats, official people with high up clearances, maybe even military. I'm not sure what it was, but as I said, it was coming through like in words like a reading, and seemed to have a bit of a filter like when you're reading in it, so not just a normal dream. And he said, so they're going to be recalling, and I said, okay, what do I need to know? And I felt like I was talking about food shortages. I felt like felt like we were talking about food shortages. So some of the words that came through were very clear. Were defense was one word that came through, because my conversation then turned to, okay, how do I defend what I thought was food in this upcoming time? So it could have just been me panicking about food shortages and what's coming next after Easter, but I felt like it was coming through as a reading, so only in small bits. So I felt like I was talking about defense. He said, you have to hide it. So there's a general telling me something's hidden. Showed me a wall that had a fake wall, or something where something was hidden in the wall and it was just gyprocked over, so hidden within a wall. But he was talking about something being hidden, a general, and perhaps higher up officials or people in the know, people with certain information or military clearance, were being brought in about something. So that's what he was saying. I then looked down at my wrist again, and I could see this rash once again, and it was green, a green rash. Now the green rash looked like the mold on a orange. So I didn't click in the dream straight away. I then was talking to my mother in the dream, and she also had the rash, and then I thought, oh, that looks like mold on an orange. So I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. Nothing else clicked in the dream, no logic. It was just, okay, this looks like mold, a mold rash. So exited out of the dream. I think that was it. I woke up. I don't think there was anything else significant. Oh yes, there was. Exiting out of the government building, it was barricaded up. So there was like the stairs that I had to exit through were all closed off and blocked off, and I broke a sign trying to get back out, climb over this, whatever it was. So government building, general, defense. Thought I was talking about food and defending food, but I'm not sure if it was food now. And then this the building being barricaded off or blocked off, so no one could get access in, but I was trying to get out, and I broke one of the barricades trying to get back out again. Then I was talking to my mother. I woke up and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Orange mold is penicillin. I'm allergic to penicillin, so I break out in a rash everywhere when I have penicillin. So that was telling me penicillin rash, because it was obviously green mold on a rash is penicillin rash. Now, in my readings previously, I said something about the health industry, maybe affected by the upcoming shortages. I don't know if it was the shortage reading. Is there going to be a food shortage? I think it was that reading. I said something around the health industry is going to be really important that's coming up. And then they're telling me penicillin. I thought it might have just been pharmaceuticals and normal everybody's medication, and I said stock up on your medication, especially more so than your food. So then I put the news on. The first thing that came up was an article, a news documentary or a news segment about people with penicillin allergies. I couldn't write this if I tried, but people with penicillin allergies, there's a new test or a new app that's coming out where they can retest you, because they say that sometimes within 10 years that what you thought you had an allergy to penicillin, you may not have anymore. So that was interesting. They were telling me, but that could have been one of those trigger things in my dream to say, okay, you need to recall your dream. So I'm going to show you something that, or it could be actually something to do with penicillin or this new app. So then the next article that came on straight after that was how Trump is putting tariffs, 100% tariffs on Australian pharmaceuticals. And the pharmaceuticals, all about this dream, but also about the reading that I'd done that came up last week or the week before, could have been 2 weeks ago now. I said something about the health industry is going to be affected by this, and now we're looking at 100% tariffs on medications or medicines. So very, very interesting. Now, I don't know if this dream is talking about having to hide food or having to hide something's being hidden, something government related, something military related, or if it's talking about the general that's gone missing. So I'm going to do a reading on that just in case that's what the dream was telling me I had to look into, and how he's hidden or hiding and certain people with high clearances are being brought in. So that's why I'm thinking I might need to sit down and read on the general that's gone missing, or whether we are talking about food shortages, whether we're talking about the health industry, the penicillin and the pharmaceuticals. But it all culminated in this dream, so I thought I should get it up here, just because it aligns to all the readings I've been doing, but also the readings and the direction I have to go moving forward. Thanks for joining me. I've got the general reading coming up this week. I think I might do that one, load that one up for tomorrow. Thank you for watching.